Hello. If you are just starting out on your transformational journey and you are having that kind of feeling of, I wish I'd found out about all of this 20 years ago, and feeling like you've wasted a whole big chunk of your life, please stay tuned. Please join me today for our Cocoon and Cuppa episode, which is a Q&A. I'm going to be answering a really excellent question from Sophie, who's a member of my Evolution membership. And it's just such a juicy, awesome question. It's a question I've asked myself a gazillion times. And I don't think I've ever had a client who is over the age of maybe 35 who hasn't asked herself this question. So thank you for joining me. If you're on Instagram, please say hello. If you're on Facebook, let me just see who's joining on Facebook. There's a few of you coming on. Please do say hello. Let me know who I'm speaking to. That would be great. And I will jump on in with the question, I think. Thanks for joining, everybody. Hope you're all good. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Nice weather, isn't it? There's a few more joining. Please do say hi as you join. Alrighty, so let me preface the question. So in our Evolution membership, hey Jane, hey Mandy. Mandy, hope your daughter's doing okay. Hope she's recovering quick. All right, so in our Evolution membership, a couple of nights ago, we had an expert come in and run a masterclass for us. And it was excellent. It was with the last coach. Hey, Terry. It was with my last coach. Her name is Paula Lacabara, and she's a women's empowerment expert. And she designed something called the Empowered Woman Archetype System. And she came in and she was teaching her system to my Evolution members. So it was a real pleasure to have my own coach come in and teach my clients. It was awesome. And there was some like major aha moments for everybody in the group. And one of the women in the group said, I wish I'd known this 20 years ago. So on the back of that, another member of the group, Sophie, she emailed me, hey June, she emailed me the next day. And this was her question that she wanted me to answer today. She said, how come it's only with hindsight that we learn to acknowledge our previous behavior and are able to heal its root causes? I find myself thinking, if I'm supposed to be in the right place now and the universe has my back, how come I was able to make all those past mistakes, which, even if indirectly, still have repercussions in my life? Do you resonate with that question? I completely do. I really understand where that's coming from. And Sophie is in her, I don't know how old Sophie is. I guess this is what I always get this wrong, early 50s. And I know that she's feeling very much like, God, I wish I knew this 20 years ago. I could have, look what I could have achieved, look what I could have done, look what I wouldn't have done, what mistakes I wouldn't have made if I knew this new way of living, which she's learning right now. I'm teaching transformational living. And anyway, she's learning so much, she's evolving so quickly, and she's like thinking now, gosh, have I just wasted the last 20 years? So I'm going to break down her question in order to answer it. And I have written some notes for this one. It's such a great question. I didn't want to miss any aspect of it. So first of all, this piece, I wish I'd known this 20 years ago. Timing is everything, right? And here's what I tell myself all the time. For me, 20 years ago, so what am I? I'm about to turn 46. So yeah, mid-20s, mid to late 20s, I absolutely would not have been ready to listen, let alone learn from somebody like me. I would not have been remotely open to the spiritual conversations that I'm having with my clients. I'd have thought, I definitely, because I was like really like full on corporate girl back then, I'd have, and I say this quite often when I'm speaking to audiences, it's like, I would have been so cynical of me back then. People like me, I probably wouldn't have really trusted them. I probably would have thought it was all a bit woo-woo. I definitely would have had belief systems running that was so powerful that told me that I wasn't good enough or that wasn't meant for me. So much self-judgment that I was judging others. All of this stuff would have been going on that I absolutely wouldn't have even been available to hear it, let alone learn it and apply it to my life. So I think timing is everything. And I genuinely believe there's a time and a place for all of us to, when we kind of arrive and we wake up and, hey, Ellen, good to have you. And we realize, okay, now's my time. Like, I'm ready. Enough with doing life that way. I'm ready to learn a new way. And when our soul speaks loud enough and we are really ready to listen, and by the way, especially with the women I'm working with, this tends to happen. I mean, it's not always the case, but it does tend to be such a thing from sort of mid 30s onwards, when that's our voice of our spirit, that inner wisdom really comes alive and sparks up and says, hey, there's got to be another way. And however long it takes us to begin to listen to that voice will be when our journey begins, when we really are ready to listen to the voice of our soul, to listen to our truth. But timing is everything. And I really do trust in divine timing. I trust that there's a time and a place for all of us to begin our transformational journey, to begin healing, and to begin learning a way more self-loving, way more self-compassionate way of doing life. So yeah, in terms of, I wish I'd known this 20 years ago, timing's everything. And you probably weren't available to hear this 20 years ago. So let yourself off the hook, right? Okay, so the next part of the question I want to address is where she says, if I'm supposed to be in the right place now and the universe has my back, how come I was able to make all those past mistakes? So this is where I want to talk about soul contracts. Now, most of you that I know are on this call will be with me and hearing me on this. I don't think I'm going to be alone in this. Soul contracts. I don't think it's going to be too woo-woo a conversation for you. And if it feels like a woo-woo conversation the moment I say soul contracts, then I invite you to open your heart and let your spirit hear this. Because I think when your spirit hears this, something in you will be like, oh yeah, that's true. I feel that. So I really believe we're all spiritual beings having this human experience. And I believe the human experience has been, we choose it. As spiritual beings, we choose to come here and participate in a physical way, in this physical body, in this sort of physical reality, so that we can come to know something new about the truth of who we are. And I believe that we create contracts to experience that, to discover what that is. I believe that we create family soul contracts. So, you know, for example, so my mum, who took her own life when I was 22, beautiful, amazing woman. And I genuinely believe that, and I didn't know this when it happened because I was too addicted to drama, and I had too much pain and trauma going on in my life. At the time that she died, I didn't know this, but I came to know this, and I feel it in my soul. So I know that this is true. I believe that our soul contract, Mum and I had a soul contract. I believe that somehow, somewhere, before we decided to come and have this human experience, we agreed I would be her daughter, she would be my mother. And she was going to teach me certain things, and I was going to teach her certain things. And these are the pieces that we knew we wanted to experience and heal and evolve, to feel. We wanted to have the experience of the pain and the experience of the bliss of overcoming. That was what our soul was desiring. So we set up this contract with each other where essentially she was going to show me what life looked like when you don't love yourself. Before I was even born into this world, there was a purpose for me. There was a purpose for me to discover what it really meant to have self-forgiveness, self-compassion, self-love, how to live through that as a human in this world, which is something we have to remember every freaking day, right? It's a pretty big contract that I signed coming here. And my mum and I signed this contract that she would teach to me what life looks like when you don't love yourself. And she suffered as a result of that. Having to teach that to me meant that she suffered a lot. And that was her gift of love to me. Hard to kind of wrap your head around, right? And I remember a time in my life, again, this is where timing is everything. There was a time in my life I would not have been ready to hear this. If someone said to me, Katie, your mum's death, the way she died, was her gift of love to you, I'd have been like, are you mad? Are you just mean? Why would you say that to me? Whereas now I feel that so deeply, and it's the most beautiful link that I have with my mom now and forever. Her life was designed to teach me something so painful and so powerful, uh, that was her gift of love to me. So we had that contract, and my soul contract. I'm here, as I said, to learn those lessons, and my golly gosh, have I had to learn those lessons in some pretty difficult and traumatic ways, which is, I genuinely believe, if our purpose is to go on to teach and support and heal and help others, then usually the way we learn our lessons, it can feel pretty extreme. So this piece about which I knew this 20 years ago, I really get it. And I know I wouldn't be doing the work I'm doing now. I wouldn't be able to support women and men to the incredibly high level that I support them, and do the incredibly deep work, the deep inner child work, the deep healing work that we do. It is not for the faint of heart, and I could not do that work with these people and support them at the level I do and help them get the depth of healing and transformation they get if I hadn't gone through what I've gone through, hadn't then received my own therapy, my own coaching, been on my own personal spiritual journey. Like, if I hadn't done that, I couldn't do what I do now. So again, timing is everything, and it's a soul contract. So when, Sophie, you say, if I'm supposed to be in the right place now and the universe has my back, how come I was able to make all those past mistakes? You made those past mistakes because that was your contract. You decided on a soul level before you came here, there were certain pieces that you had to heal. And I know, I mean, look, for most of us, it's a pretty universal piece. This healing around, I'm enough. No longer believing the lie, I'm not good enough, and moving into a space of knowing I'm enough as a spiritual being, as a pure being of light and love. I am enough. Me just sitting here in this chair is enough. I think we've all got to learn that lesson. Actually, I don't think anybody's born without having to learn that lesson. In my experience, and the multiple people I'm in contact with all the time, looking to heal, looking to evolve, looking to transform, the common denominator is this belief that on some level I'm not enough. We've all come here to heal that, and we will have life experience after life experience after life experience that's told us you are not enough, until our soul gets louder and louder and louder, and there's an undeniable voice inside. It's no longer a whisper, and it says, it is your time to heal. It's time to learn a different way of doing life. When we're ready to listen to that voice, remember, timing is everything, things can start to shift. Sophie's here. Hello, darling. Good to have you. Okay, so to address the next part of your question, you said, how come it's only with hindsight that we learn to acknowledge the previous behavior and are able to heal its root causes? So I love this word hindsight and the hindsight window. And I feel like Sophie, I know for you, you're at the beginning of a massive journey, and you've already healed so much in just a few months, and there's more to come. And I know for you, and I know for me, speaking to my own experience, in the beginning, like when I finally listened to my soul and began my own transformational journey, it just felt like this mountain to climb. And it felt like the hindsight piece, I had to look so far back. I mean, I had to go right back to when I was 4 years old, 5 years old, 7 years old, teenagers. I mean, there's been chunks of my life that I've had to, with hindsight, go back to and look at and do the healing work, overcome traumatic pieces to be able to heal and move forward. So it feels like a lot. And I know that, yes, in the beginning, it feels like a lot. And once you start doing the bulk of the healing, and transformational living becomes your day-to-day normal, it becomes normal to check in with yourself on all levels every day, mind, body, spirit, emotion, to check in with yourself. How do I feel? What do I need? You start noticing, where am I giving my power away? Where am I playing small? Where am I saying no to life and I could be saying yes to life? Where am I self-abandoning? How am I self-sabotaging? You will start to see all of this behavior in the moment that it's happening. So it's no longer hindsight to 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years ago. It's in the moment. So the hindsight window becomes really like shortened and shortened and shortened over a period of time until you're like in the moment doing the work all the time. So for me, my transformational work now, well, sometimes, you know, if I'm really ready to go to another level, sometimes I do have to use my hindsight and go back 20 years. Maybe I have to do some additional work on a piece that, you know, I've done a lot of work on, but maybe I'm ready to go to my next level of understanding and healing around that piece. But often it's just a day to day, like clearing, like acknowledgement, seeing a pattern, allowing myself to feel how that feels, moving into a space of forgiveness for myself and for others. And then, and you know, like moving through it, feeling through it in the moment, in the moment, in the moment, every day. That's transformational living in practice every single day. So you'll move into a place like that. I know, Sophie, for you, you're already beginning to do that. Only when did we start working together? Like a couple of months ago, three months ago. You are already doing that. It's amazing. So the hey Wendy, so the hindsight window gets shorter and shorter, and then it kind of just becomes an immediate thing. If you're up for it, like we can't see what we've, you know, we can't unsee what we've seen. So usually, pretty much, there's no going back. And if you're really up for living your biggest life, I call it a daring and mighty life, then you are going to be committed to your transformational process. I mean, I did it this morning. Like I woke up this morning, I felt so, I had a lovely early night. I didn't drink any alcohol last night. I had a beautiful bath before bed last night, a bubble bath, and shaved my legs. You know, so I went to bed feeling very calm. I'd really taken care of myself. I had a good sleep. And yet I still woke up feeling really bloody grumpy this morning. I felt down, I felt heavy, I felt like I had nothing to be grateful for. And in that moment, I was like, okay, I can go through my day like this. I can be the victim. I can just feel like shit all day today. Or I can be with this for now, and I can choose to shift my state. And so I very intentionally chose a yoga class that was all about, like a wake up class that was all about gratitude. And in the class, this woman said, the teacher, she said, you know, tune in now, as like hands on heart, and tune into what you're grateful for. And I was sat there thinking, I don't feel grateful. I felt uncomfortable and angry this morning. But I stuck with it. And then we did some shaking, and I love shaking, and just sort of shaking off the energy and shifting my state and moving more into gratitude and more into self-forgiveness and more into grace. And I did that practice this morning. And then I did a beautiful meditation afterwards. I had a longer than usual shower. I washed my hair, and I did all of that before I started my chores, before I fed the dog, before I took him for a walk, you know, before I had to do the stuff that had to get done. I took care of me first, and I shifted my state. And that is right there. That's choosing to live transformationally. Because once upon a time, something as seemingly simple as that feeling would have overtaken my day, would have affected my results that day. I'd have been a total victim to life, day in, day out, actually, as a result of living unconsciously to those feelings. So I think that's what I wanted to say about the hindsight window and that part of your question. Sophie's saying, yes, a couple of months ago. This is so clear, and I really get the processes now. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Yeah, you're doing it. You're living transformationally every day now, Sophie. And there's going to be times where we have to really go right back for a while, do some more deeper healing, do some more digging. Yeah, that's the process. It's kind of what we sign up to. And then another part of your question, it said, how come I was able to make all those past mistakes, which even if indirectly still have repercussions in my life? And I like how you've addressed that, the repercussions in my life now. So here's the thing, when we start our transformational healing journey, there can be quite a gap of time between, you know, you sort of realize sabotaging behavioral habits. You notice patterns that aren't serving you, and you're really ready to give those up. And there can be a bit of a delay between really seeing the tangible shifts in your life, right? So you know it. You've done your emotional cathartic healing around that. You've moved into forgiveness. You're in a state of gratitude. You're ready to create next level of your life. You're moving forward. But shitty stuff keeps happening. Annoying people keep turning up in your life. There's triggers are coming at you left, right, and center still. And it's like, well, why is this still happening? Why am I still receiving these repercussions? I thought I'd done the work, or I'm in the work. Why am I having repercussions from decisions 20 years ago, 30 years ago? Why is it still happening? It can be really frustrating. So to use myself as an example, I will never forget a session with my transformational coach, my first transformational coach. So we're going back 12 years. And she said to me, Katie, you are addicted to drama. I was so embarrassed and so humiliated that she would say that to me. And, but it was true. Yeah, right. It was true. And she was my coach, and she was there to very lovingly show me a pattern that was going on for me that was not serving me. And I came to see that my addiction to drama was how I was getting love and acceptance and approval in the world. It was how I was feeling significant. It was through, it's like a kid, isn't it? Any attention, positive or negative, is attention. And when we receive attention, we feel like our basic human needs are getting met: significance, connection, love, safety, all of these pieces. And so I was getting those basic human needs met through drama, through addiction to drama, through friends talking about the latest drama in Katie's life. And my life became this kind of drama TV series for other people, which when I realized that was going on, that was really painful to see that I was the friend that people got their kind of little addiction to drama from, right? It wasn't a nice place to be. So I realized this. I felt my feelings around it. I processed a lot around where that addiction had come from, why it was going on in my life. I got to a space of being so ready and so done with it. I was like, right, I am no longer having drama in my life. And yet the repercussions of having lived a life addicted to drama for so many years and experienced drama, whether not even that I was addicted to it, but I'd experienced a lot. I mean, look, how mum died, suicide. It's pretty dramatic. The way I found out, dramatic. Circumstances surrounding that, dramatic. So, there's a lot of self-compassion and forgiveness to be had, that I'd learned and adopted a way of doing life based on previous experiences that were, out of my control. So then, there I was, ready to, I'm done with drama. I'm no longer having drama in my life. My motto became say no to drama. I'm unavailable for drama. And yet certain things kept showing up in my life. And it was things like, I had to retrain some friends. Oh, Sana, I can see you've sent a message. Gratitude shifted my blues to self-love and lifted my mood yesterday. Beautiful. I'm glad to read that. So I had to retrain some friends. I had to have a word with a few of them and say, look, I've realized that a lot of our conversations are around the drama in my life, and I don't want to have those conversations anymore. And when people began those conversations, I would change the conversation. I would no longer participate. So there was an element of having to retrain the people around me around what I was and was not available for anymore. Some of those people are still friends of mine now. Some of them aren't, and there's a time delay, isn't there, where certain people will just naturally fall out of your life and new people will naturally come in. But that's, that there's a little bit of a time delay. And I think we have to go into transformational living and healing work knowing, eyes wide open, this is going to happen. There will be a delay. I had to, release the people in my life that were playing a drama role. Who were those people, and what did I need to do to release that energy from my life? I had to attract in new friends. I think I just alluded to that. And I was having to practice a new way of relating to the world. So there was also the time delay, because while I decided, okay, decisions are powerful, sometimes a decision can shift everything. And when we've been running a program or a pattern of behavior for a long time, there's going to be a period of time where we're like a child learning to walk. You know, I was learning to do life a totally different way every single day, and every choice I made, with every word that came out of my mouth, it was a very conscious choice. Is this perpetuating the drama addiction, or is this moving me into the new way of being and the way I want to relate to the world? So I was practicing this new way. I was practicing learning to walk, learning to behave in a less dramatic way. And I'm very pleased to say that I do not have drama in my life now, although I still love drama. I still love drama. So last night I really binged on one of my favorite Australian drama TV shows. I loved it. Brilliant. Just don't need that drama in my own personal life. Happy to watch it on a screen, right? There's other ways of getting your drama. And then I think the final thing I probably want to add to my answer to your question, Sophie, is the importance of forgiveness and compassion. This is where self-love is key. You know, when we do have this feeling like, oh my God, I wish I knew this 20 years ago and I wouldn't have done that, and I wouldn't have lost that, and I wouldn't have suffered that. And we can start to beat up on ourselves. What's the point? You know, what's the point? We can beat up on ourselves and walk around with a load of regret. Or we can love ourselves enough to trust that this is our time is now. Like I was saying before, timing is everything. We remember our soul contracts. We remember that, you know, we can empower ourselves with knowing that my time has finally come to live the truth of my soul, to live the truth of my spiritual self. I've been given so much in life that I now have the gift of love, to be able to see that, to transform it, to heal it. What a gift to be able to do that. I forgive myself. It's an opportunity right now to forgive all of those past experiences where I doubted myself, where I played small, where I gave my power away. I know for myself, there's huge chunks of my life that if I knew what I know now, I would never have gone through that hell. And yet that hell has been such a gift to me, and the way I'm able to use it now. And so I forgive myself of my mistakes. I forgive myself of my bad choices. I forgive myself of when I didn't treat other people kindly, perhaps. And I can forgive them when I wasn't treated kindly. So it's a huge forgiveness piece and a huge compassion piece right now, and a huge gratitude piece that finally you've arrived. You've arrived and you're ready to listen to your soul. You're ready to heal, and it's never too late, because as I discovered when I began my perimenopause journey, and some of you know, I did a huge interview series around menopause and perimenopause, interviewing experts from all around the globe. And the common theme with every interview on menopause was that was an opportunity for a woman, like reaching menopause. It wasn't all downhill from here. It wasn't like I've lived the best years of my life and now it's downhill. It's like, okay, let's take two. This is stage 2 of my life. How am I going to really make it count? How exciting. What can I do with the wisdom and the life experience? So for most of the women I'm working with, you know, we are all in our 40s. This is moving into midlife. And you're doing the healing work. You're doing the transformational work. It's never too late, and you're doing it so that you can use all of your life experience and bring that into a place of wisdom and deep self-knowing and deep self-love and deep self-trust, so that you can approach phase 2, the next chapter of your life, from a really loving, centered, grounded, and empowered place. I think that's actually very exciting. So we always have a choice. We can glass half full, glass half empty. Yeah, half full, half empty. You know, half empty would be, wish I'd learned this 20 years ago. Half full would be, thank God I finally learned. Thank God I'm on this path. It's not too late. I'm going to make the most of the next 20, 30, 40 years. It's kind of a cool place to be, right? That's an empowering place. You are in charge of your life going forward. And so I would invite you to always bring yourself back to that. I am in charge of my life going forward now. That's a cool place to be. So, Sophie, my darling, we're exactly on the half-hour mark. I'm going to end there. I hope that was helpful. There's a couple of comments. Sophie saying, love the drama from a distance. Yes, me too. You're welcome, Mandy. Yeah, love to be honest. Mandy saying, I'm allergic to drama and can see how I was in a massive whirlwind of drama. No drama now, even when there is drama. Stepped away from the table. Brilliant. Yeah, totally. And it's possible to, right? You can, you know, and I can see when drama's going on, and I just choose not to be available to it. I just choose not to get involved in it. And it's very easy to step away, and it's very easy to witness it with curiosity as it's going on. But really important to step away for sure. Ellen's saying, although my screen moved, although there is much we can't control, we can control our attitude. Bang on. We can control our effort in choosing to change, being open to change. Yes. Yes, Liz, hello, darling. Good to have you. I'm glad you're inspired. Yeah, I'm inspired by the question. It's a bloody brilliant question, right? Like, who isn't on this journey that doesn't ask that question? We all ask that question, right? It's so good. Terry, hello. Oh, you're welcome, my darling. I hope you're okay. I know you've had a challenging, wow, a real challenging few months, haven't you? So I'm sending you lots of love. Sophie, life is definitely half full now. You're amazing. You're amazing. You're welcome, Ellen. You're so welcome, all of you. Like you're you know, I'm in awe of you guys because you show up for this stuff, right? You're showing up for yourselves. You're showing up for conversations like this. You know, you are available to grow and learn. And I just think that's absolutely brilliant. You inspire me. So thank you for being here. I will do my self-love wisdom on, I still think it's hilarious that I call it that. I guess I do have some wisdom in me at times. Self-love wisdom, 5 o'clock on Friday. And if you are not already a member of Evolution Membership, please come and join us. First month is free and there's no strings attached. If you don't like it, you can leave. It's okay. I will put the link in the comments. Love you. Thanks for joining. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.